Hola, my name is Daisy Robinson. I'm coming to you from El Tazal in Los Cabos, and I'm a molecular biologist, and I'm here to talk about coronavirus and what we can do as a community to keep all of us safe and as healthy as possible during this time that's very challenging for everybody. I think the first thing to know is that coronavirus is here in Los Cabos. There are confirmed cases and there are many suspected cases. And it's important that we as a community come together and engage in the behaviors that are going to keep us as safe as possible for the next several weeks or potentially several months where this is going to be a problem and an issue for us all to face. I think the first thing to know is that this virus, once you are exposed to it, it lives, it can replicate in our body for many days before you show any symptoms of illness. Some people never show symptoms at all, but those first 5 days after you've been exposed to the virus are when you're most contagious and spreading it via droplets coming from your mouth or when you're touching things. So it's very, very important that we practice social distancing. What this means is maintaining a physical distance from other people of up to 6 feet, or at least 6 feet, and to limit non-essential activities and non-essential gatherings. Of course, we need to go to the grocery store, things like that, but I would say to limit your interaction with other people as much as possible. We especially need to keep safe people who are more at risk. This is people over 50 years old or anybody that has any kind of pulmonary issue or cardiac issue. They tend to have a harder time fighting the illness. And so it's very important that we limit contact with those people. Definitely call them. You can drop groceries by their house, see if they're safe, see if they're okay, but do not go to their homes or go inside or spend time with them if you think that there's a possibility you might have had exposure to the virus. Also knowing that you won't know if you've been exposed for at least several days. So there's a high likelihood that many people are walking around thinking that they're okay and they're actually contagious and spreading virus. So with that in mind, I actually was sick for almost 2 weeks with the virus, and it's very challenging. Many days of fever and cough, many days where it's hard to breathe, hard to get up and do anything. So I think it's important that we all take this very seriously. I'm a young person, I'm very healthy, and I had a really hard time fighting this virus. So in order for you to be ready, if and when you get sick, it's really important to keep in mind that you're doing what you can now so that your body is strong and healthy if you need to fight the virus. What that means is make sure you're getting good sleep. Sleep is very, very important to maintain your immune system and to support immune function. Make sure you're staying hydrated and drinking enough water, eating a nutritious diet and getting the vitamins that you need, like vitamin C, zinc. Those are things that are going to help support your immune function. Don't drink alcohol. And if you do, every 1 drink of alcohol you have, you should be having 3 drinks of water. Alcohol suppresses your immune function, so it's actually really going to limit your ability to fight the virus if you end up being exposed to it. In addition to that, smoking is, as we all know, not good for your health, and it's very hard for your lungs. This virus attacks your lungs, and so now it's more important than ever that you keep your lungs as healthy as possible so that if and when you end up with this illness, your body is strong enough to fight it and to fight it as best as it can. Another important thing to keep in mind is that if you become sick, you should call your doctor before going to a clinic or going to the hospital. Right now, the hospitals are the place where most of the viral exposure is happening. So if you go and you maybe end up having something else, you're putting yourself at risk of coming into contact with the virus. And if you are sick and you do have the virus, then you're putting the healthcare workers at risk and other people who are going to the hospital. So it's really important that if you become sick and you have some of the symptoms of coronavirus, you do not go to the hospital unless you have been instructed to do so by a doctor. There's a number that you can call in Los Cabos to talk to somebody about your symptoms, and they can tell you whether or not it is appropriate to go to the hospital. But there's not widespread testing here, unfortunately, and that's going to be one of the challenges for Mexico and for Cabo is there's not enough testing being done to be able to really track the spread of this disease. So it's even more important for us to stay isolated and physical distance from other people to limit the spread. It also means that if you're sick, it's very unlikely that you're going to be able to get a test unless you are in critical condition. So really, the things that I think are important to know is that coronavirus is here, and we want to do everything that we can to slow or stop the spread of it, and especially to prevent it prevent the exposure to older people or people who are vulnerable. There's not a huge capacity here in our hospitals to care for people that are critically ill, so we need to do what we can to prevent the overloading of the hospitals. And what that means is physical distancing, washing your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water frequently, and just taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, making sure you're well slept, well hydrated, high nutrition, and look out for each other. Call your friends and family, make sure they're okay, and do what you can to limit the spread of the virus. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I am on Instagram. My name is Daisy Robinson, and I hope you all stay safe.